Get ready for some Philly sports talk. Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and the Birds.
He's an athlete. Get him the ball. He can make plays.
I can't help but feel incredibly right.
There's a lot to unpack here.
And it makes you less happy, which is exactly what I want.
Let's do it. 3, 2. Philly!
Hello, everybody. Hello, Philadelphia. Welcome back once again to yet another edition of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. As always, my name is Ryan Conway, and joining me here is my illustrious co-host and wartime consigliere, Sam Glavin. And, of course, we have our incomparable producer behind the glass, Seamus G, cooking up the highlights, put together that beautiful intro video you just saw, brand new intro. You just saw that. That's the first time anyone has seen it on a broadcast of the Wolves of Broad Street. Very exciting stuff. Shout out Seamus and his brother Eamon for throwing that together. Eamon had the equipment to get it done, make us look way more professional than we actually are. Wow. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there, Sam. We're here to talk about Philly sports, not about our professional lives. So, Sam, we're just going to start. We're just going to talk about the Birds because the Birds, the game this weekend was a pretty tough way to end the season, to say the least, losing 31-15 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, we were all watching it together, the three of us, me, Ryan, and Seamus G. And we were at, it was just a regular PJ Wheelhands at Newtown Square, and we were watching it, and we were all really pumped going into the game. And then they just kind of shit a brick. I mean, it was not fun to watch at all. I mean, the game plan going in did not work in the slightest. I mean, the Tampa Bay Bucs coaching staff really just snuffed it out perfectly. I mean, there's no other way to describe that. I mean, they game planned it perfectly. We did not in the slightest. And I'm so torn, Ryan, because I shouldn't have had expectations going into this game, but like, I'm an Eagles fan, so obviously I had some kind of like subconscious expectations. But I'm happy with where I'm not happy with the way it ended, but I'm happy with where they are now, if that makes any sense.
I totally get what you mean, because as disheartening as that loss was on Sunday, and it was brutal, we were down 31-0. Our guy that, we were like, this guy's the truth at the quarterback position. Like, all the questions that we had at the beginning of the year that we thought were answered are, they're already back, concerning arm strength and all of that. So it was definitely a disheartening way to end the year, but you're right. The position that this team is in moving forward is really what is important. And the fact that hopefully we're able to shed some dead weight and then pick up 3 young, cheap first-round talents with the 15th, 16th, and 19th pick in the first round.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's a pretty nice setup. That's a pretty nice direction to be headed, because we weren't even supposed to make the playoffs. I mean, sure, I talked about how we were going to beat the Bucs on Sunday, but, that's homerism. That's the fan in me just getting whipped up into a frenzy. But, it was a tough loss, but we didn't really need to be there. We really shouldn't have been there in a lot of respects, considering what a lot of people thought. And also with this new playoff format, we wouldn't have made the playoffs at all outside of the last 2 seasons. So it was definitely kind of like, hey, look, they're a much better football team than we are. And they proved it. And that's kind of what happened. But we are in the perfect spot moving forward, which I'm very excited about.
That's true. Yeah. The one qualm that I had many qualms about the game, but the biggest thing that stuck out to me was the lack of targeting Devontae Smith. That rubbed me the wrong way, Ryan, like so badly. Because you saw like during garbage time, like what he was doing, right? Like he had that one sick run where he was juking everybody out up the sideline, going like just doing his thing. I mean, hey, I'm not sure who I was talking about in like that one clip in the intro video. He's an athlete. I think it was Devontae Smith who I was talking about in that. Like, he's an athlete. He's an athlete. Get him the ball. He's going to make some plays, right? And that's what he did. Like in those garbage time. I mean, he had a touchdown in garbage time, and but like the fact that we weren't targeting him throughout the whole game and I didn't see any double coverage on him. I just saw, I don't know if they were in a zone defense. I don't remember, but
I'll tell you what happened there, man. There was not a lot of double coverage. You're right. There was a lot of single coverage, but there was that one play where Hurts throws it up. It's a jump ball, but Reagor sags on his route, slows down, and that allows the DB to see that he's quitting on the route and track where the ball is going. So, and finally, I mean, this is obviously an inflated statistic here. He was targeted 11 times. How many of those came when the game was already over? How many of those came when we were down 17-0?
Most of it, yeah.
Or 31-0 even. Probably more than half of those targets. And he only caught 4 of them because partially because not that he couldn't get open, but either the throws weren't there. He was targeted in the end zone. Jalen Hurts threw an absolute duck about 10 seconds too late. That was intercepted pretty easily. There were a lot of throws to Devontae Smith that weren't really catchable footballs, but really count as a target. And then you see Dallas Goedert with 12 targets, only got 6 catches for 92 yards. When the game was still winnable, when we could still play a game and not winnable, but at least give them something, give them some form of a fight. He drops the easiest pass he's ever been thrown in his life. Jalen just lobs him a nice little ball over. It's he's an incredible tight end. I think he'd be a top 5 tight end in the NFL, but he just has one brutal drop a game.
Mm-hmm. It's every game. That's what's pissed. And it's ones that'll go right through his hands because he's trying to turn upfield and gain more yards.
It's crazy.
And it's just it's so frustrating because, like you said, he could be a top 5 tight end. It's just those brutal drops. I mean, he'll have 1 or 2 a game, and it's frustrating. Hopefully he'll iron that out for next season. I can't believe we're talking about next season already, but it's for next season. I mean, he'll be fine. I know he's definitely a tight end 1. There's no questioning that whatsoever. He's been a favorite target for Jalen Hurts all year long, as he should be. But he's still young. I mean, he's still making rookie mistakes, I guess. What is it? He just finished his 3rd year?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's frustrating. But
was it his 4th year?
Brutal. We got a comment here. Hope they keep Minshew. Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, they've come out publicly and put their cards on the table and said, hey, Jalen Hurts is our guy.
Mm-hmm. They sure have.
So I don't know, man. I'm fully okay with that. I really
look.
And
this is a league where you need 2 quarterbacks. So Gardner Minshew, hold on to him. He costs less than $1 million. Just I don't see a problem.
Yeah, I don't see a problem either. I mean, the people came up, and if Seamus, if you have that press conference clip, I feel like it's a good time to have it now. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, if we have Jalen Hurts, right? He's also very, very cheap, and I'm hearing all this stuff about. Now we after that playoff game, we got to spend these 3 first-round picks, and we got to get a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers or something like that. I'm like, let's pull back on the reins there a little bit. He had a bad game in his first time in the playoffs. Okay. He went up against Tom Brady, right, with a defense that wasn't doing diddly for him. It was just not the ideal situation for a young quarterback who has barely even played a full season. He has now played a full season. Yeah. But come on. He's shown us that he can develop. He's going to develop. He's got that good head on his shoulders where he's going to nose to the grindstone and just get better. I have all the faith in the world in Jalen Hurts to just take this offseason, iron out the stuff he needs to iron out, which is mainly just his arm strength, right? I think that he can get better. Not a lot of people think he can get better there. I think he can. He's the definition of a low floor, high ceiling guy.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you there, dude. We just have to let him develop. And that's exactly what, this front office and this coaching staff intends to do. Basically, that's what they said in the press conference today. Talking about how we're going to build around him, put talented players around him to help him develop. And here's the thing. We're going to get 3 first-round picks this year. Ideally, Howie doesn't trade any of them, and he hits on all of them. They're all great players. If that happens and we draft well and we bring in a wide receiver 2 in free agency and we make the moves necessary to make this a competitive football team, and Jalen Hurts can then not deliver, we give him next season. And if he fails if he doesn't make the playoffs next season, get him out of here. That's fine. Because this team is in such a good position that if we move all the right pieces around, we really are a quarterback away.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We're not just a quarterback away right now. It's not just, take out Jalen Hurts, put in Aaron Rodgers. There are people that say that. There are real people in this city.
It's crazy. There are professional media people saying that.
That's the
And
dumbest thing
I'm looking at you, WIP. Like it's just insanity to me that people think that this team is a quarterback away. Like, look at we have 0 linebackers. We have no linebackers.
We have no linebacker. I mean, TJ Edwards is
TJ
good.
Edwards had a good year, but he would not start on any other team.
You're probably right about
the
that.
Eagles.
That's been our problem, dude. So if we can bolster the defense in the draft, bring in another solid wide receiver, probably like a Mike Williams or a Calvin Ridley to pair with Devontae Smith, and then just kind of see what we can do through free agency and our guys developing. I think that this team, at that point, it's in a position where we go, all right, Jalen Hurts, here you go. Take this team, go make the playoffs. Sort of like how Carson Wentz was in Indy this year. I hate to make this comparison, but you take a look at that Indy team, MVP candidate running back, coach of the year candidate, defensive player of the year candidate, and they missed the
offensive
playoffs.
line.
Why?
Yeah.
One of the best offensive lines in football did make the playoffs. Why? Because, I mean, you take a look at the one reason they lost that football game against Jacksonville was Carson Wentz. So you can, now that we're in this mode, if Howie trusts Jalen enough to then put the pieces around him and at least try and let him develop, which it seems like they are, I don't see why we can't take next season, make an evaluation, and then either move on from him or extend him. That seems pretty simple to me.
We just live in such a microwave society. I mean, like, we just want everything. We just want everything instantly, like I just don't understand why we expect Jalen Hurts to just be the MVP candidate right away. Boom. Put him in the microwave. Yep. He's the MVP candidate. Like, I don't understand that. Allow the kid to develop over a couple of years with a couple of different teams, put some talent around him and see what he can do. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are we trying to move on so quickly from this guy who's played 1.5 seasons? Not even.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. See, I mean, we've been doing the show long enough, Ryan, where we finish each other's sentences. I mean, it's just
exactly. It just makes no sense. It really makes zero sense at all, Sam. You're right. You're fully right. So we just got to let Jalen Hurts ride. And that's the thing with Philly, dude. I mean, this is Philly. Reactionary, did it with McNabb. I didn't see that in the side queue because you know me, I keep that chat closed because my ADD is so horrible. If one pops up, I can't focus. That's too funny. But yeah, dude, Donovan McNabb
even came out and said McNabb even came out this week and said, "Hey, be patient with this guy." I mean, I don't usually agree with Donovan McNabb, but like
normally I want Donovan McNabb to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. And if I'm being honest, he never liked Carson Wentz from the beginning. I thought it was like, oh, because he's coming in, he's like the next great Eagles quarterback and stuff. But I guess he was right, and hopefully he's right about Jalen Hurts here too. So
it was probably that. Here's the thing: if Jalen Hurts actually starts to play well and like have like an MVP caliber season, maybe Donovan McNabb will turn on him a little bit. He seems like that kind. He seems like the kind of guy that's just gonna say whatever he wants to say about anybody. How as long as it benefits him, which I get it. At this point, he doesn't owe us shit. So do whatever you want to do, Donovan. But it's a real thing, man. We are very impatient, and I'll tell you, man. After that game, I was like, man, this team sucks. With this, Jalen Hurts is trash. Like,
you were not happy,
because Jalen Hurts looked like dog shit on Sunday, and this is coming from the guy that just said let him develop. This is the same guy, so clearly, like here's the stats on the season: 3,144 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's 784 rush yards.
I mean, I would have liked to see the passing yards like up a little bit, but you have to remember we were also the number 1 rushing team in the NFL. So like that second half of the season, we were running the ball a lot more. Not 23 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Could have been worse. If I'm being
people
fully
have
honest.
had worse. People have definitely had worse. 784 that led that led all quarterbacks in rushing, and 10 rushing touchdowns also led quarterbacks. So. It's clear that this is like a yes. This is 100% accurate. It was a weak throw, and it was late as well. I mean, here's the thing. Justin Herbert, he sees that pocket collapse. He sees the running back come across his face. He feels that pressure. He rolls out. He can miss that split second and still just rifle one in there because he's a freak of nature. Like, my God. He had some passes against the Raiders where, like, the nose of the football wasn't dipping. He was just 20 yards, just lasers it in there. Jalen Hurts doesn't have that arm. Nobody has that arm. Very few. Joe Burrow doesn't have that arm.
Right.
You know?
My biggest thing with that, and maybe I'm making excuses because I like the guy, but I thought it was more of a hesitation or a timing thing with that throw than it was anything. I mean, yeah, like a guy like Justin Herbert can have that hesitation and that timing issue and still make that throw. But if Hurts makes that throw on time and without any hesitation, he makes the throw and it's a touchdown.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know. I get it. His biggest weakness is definitely his arm strength. Not questioning that at all. Not questioning that in the slightest. But I don't think that in that particular situation, that was the biggest problem.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And part of that came down to scheme as well. I was watching, I mean, you know how much we love Trey Thomas here at the Wolves of Broad Street podcast on the Liberty Line Podcast Network. But Trey Thomas posted a little something about how that play, like I said, that running back coming across Jalen's face made him feel the pressure coming around the outside and forced him to roll out to the left. There were some protection adjustments that could be made on the offensive line that prevent that from happening and kind of make Jalen more comfortable in the pocket. So that is something that Sirianni is going to have to look at because, I mean, you have a guy that is not the most confident pocket passer, but you want him to learn how to do it. So in order to do that, you have to make him as comfortable as possible in the pocket. I mean, the offensive line played great on that play, but just the fact that he had Gainwell go in front of him and then he felt Devin White coming down his backside, like that's when you know like things are a little spooky there and you're a little concerned and you start rolling out. And then just a straight duck off his back foot. That dude, that looked like that's my throw. Like that, that's me, bro.
Oh, man.
I could have thrown a pick on that play too. I'm telling you, bro.
That's like
that's one of the few... hey, I got a laugh emoji in the chat here. So bang. But Sam. The Philadelphia Eagles, we're not in panic mode, right? As an organization.
No. Should not be in the slightest. I mean, look, we've been saying it for the last 20 minutes. We had 3 first-round picks, and if I'm being fully honest, I don't want to trade any of them away because I think this is a really great defensive draft, and this is exactly what we need. We need defensive players. Yeah, and I think that we can. People were trying to say like, "Oh, move up, like use a pick and move up to go get a receiver." The receiver that I wanted, Williams from Alabama, just tore his ACL. Yeah, and if we get him in the second, I don't even if he drops to the second round, I don't want to do that. I don't want another Sidney Jones situation on my hands. No, I mean Achilles to ACL, way different, but I don't want to take the risk.
Regardless, they're both massive, major injuries.
Yeah, I want to go in full defense mode. Sign a receiver in free agency. Like who were the guys you were saying earlier? The guy from the Falcons.
Mike Williams and Calvin Ridley.
Ridley. That's
Calvin Ridley might be a trade.
Oh, is he not a free agent? Okay, I didn't know.
Let me check here.
But anyways, so we've got a quarterback like in the comments and what we've been saying the whole time. A quarterback with a good head on his shoulders. He's got the drive. He just needs a couple more weapons. Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, running game, the offensive line. The offense is fine. The offense just needs a few more pieces at the wide receiver position, maybe just one. And then just focus all that draft energy on the defense. And we're a contending playoff team. Flat out.
No question. Dude, this is funny because we have a ton of cap space. And tons of positions of need. No question. But yeah, receiver, Big Joe, making great point here. Cap space has signed a free agent receiver. Yes, absolutely. I do not want another wide receiver in the draft. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the best wide receiver in college football. I'm sick of playing the crapshoot. I'm sick of rolling the dice on these guys. Let's just go get a known quantity and throw some money at them. I don't care. It can be a 3-year deal. It can be a prove it deal like Alshon Jeffrey in 2017. Like that's because here's the thing. That's what I think Howie is might be angling to do here. He might be trying to recreate the magic of Carson Wentz's second year. A lot of cap space, sign some free agents, get the veterans in to surround this young core, and then just kind of can repeat the cycle. That's something that I'm not saying that that's going to happen, or I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I am saying that that's probably what Howie's looking to do here is because now we've got a young core. Our entire 2018 draft class has been extended, which is wild. But I think we only have 5 picks that year, but fine by me. They're all still on the team. So if Howie can have another draft like that, but in 2021, then it's going to be a different story for the Birds. And then we're going to be able to tell, is Jalen Hurts the guy? Is he a real quarterback that can get to the playoffs and win in the playoffs with an actual football team built around him and not just a team that can only run the football and a defensive coordinator with his thumb up his ass? So,
yeah, you're absolutely right. Next year is a huge year for Jalen Hurts, and I have all the faith. I really think he'll come in ready because he definitely knows. He's not stupid. Like, he knows he's in the city of Philadelphia, right? And he knows that he's catching pipe from all the fans right now. Like, oh, you sucked in the playoff game. Like, he knows he's got to get better. He does. He's not going to sit there and bitch and complain about the fans and stuff.
He's not going to Ben Simmons it.
He's not going to Ben. I was even thinking about Carson Wentz, but I like yours too.
A lot of people we can say that about, Sam.
A lot of people.
Run down the list,
which is unfortunate. But
might even Jalen Reagor himself. That's a joke. I'm joking.
Just turn the comments off on his Instagram. It's smart. Big year for Jalen Hurts. This coming up, this upcoming year.
Absolutely, and hopefully, dude, Gannon gets hired. He's interviewing everywhere. Jonathan Gannon again, head coaching interviews across the league. I'm like,
please hire him.
That might be the biggest thing. That might be the biggest point of opportunity for the Birds moving forward, is get an actual defensive coordinator, and then draft excellent defensive talent. Let them grow with this new coordinator. Let them, and ideally an experienced one and a very good one. So then they can, kind of establish this new foundation for the future of this Eagles defense. Because we got a lot of guys getting old.
Yeah.
BG getting old, Achilles. We got the Fletcher Cox was just not even present half the time.
Nah.
A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on.
Brandon Brooks is probably going to be gone.
Dude. There's some serious rumors floating around about him retiring, but the only two people that posted that are just the least reputable reporters I've ever seen.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So it's like some guy I've never fucking heard of, and then somebody else who I've never heard of in my entire life. And it's not like they write for a publication and I'm ignorant.
I feel like we've gone 3 years without Brandon Brooks for significant amounts of time we'll be okay. In the season, we'll be fine. We've kind of planned around it at this point. Is it nice to have him there? Sure. Is he ever going to be the same player again? Probably not.
He was the best offensive lineman in the league at one point.
Yeah. But he's never going to be
back Achilles. So. What? It's messed up.
Was it the same one or was it two different?
You know what? I have no idea. That's how little I think about
either way.
Not Brandon Graham. Brandon Brooks. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I'm not hating. It's just the fact that he hasn't even been in the conversation as a member of the organization 90% of the time this year. I just forget that he exists sometimes.
Yeah. It sucks that we extend. Did he deserve? He definitely deserved the extension, but it sucks.
He earned the shit out of it, but it does suck that we did it. Bad business on our part. You take care of your people,
Yeah. Speaking of taking care of people, I think Steven Nelson was supposed to get, there was something in his contract where if he had played another game or something or a certain number of snaps and he missed it by 5 snaps or something, they still gave him the money. That was cool. I don't know. I thought it was just something to note. It was a $300K bonus or something for the amount of snaps or whatever.
Yeah.
He missed it by a quota or a small quota. I don't know. Thought that was cool.
Yeah, I did see that. It's stuff like that where, they didn't exactly deliver the number that you agreed upon, but hey, come on.
Yeah.
Made the playoffs. Here's a few hundred. Here's a few $100,000.
Here's a few $100K. Yeah.
Yeah. No
pocket
worries.
change.
Take care of your guys. Take care of your
Some
guys.
lunch
And
money, you know?
but do you want to know who doesn't take care of his guys?
Who's that?
Victor Williams. And we're going to segue
Yeah.
directly into the Victor Williams Doghouse, brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplankfloorsupply.com. Get a recommendation for a contractor. Get a quote. Wide Plank Floor Supply. If it's wide, they've got it. Sam, this is, of course, the Victor Williams Doghouse. Probably from now on, we were very excited to debut our new intro video for the people on the Liberty Line YouTube, and we were not barred from YouTube. We weren't censored in any way, but he does have to tweak some things. So we are banished to the Liberty Line Twitter as opposed
Forgot
to
it was
YouTube.
Wednesday.
After I plugged it on the radio for 3 hours today. That makes me feel. Brace would be like, say that one more time. It is the best flooring in the country. It is.
Right.
I mean, go visit their warehouse, their showroom out in King of Prussia. Floor to ceiling planks, right, Sam?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just you're up to your elbows in planks.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely, of all widths. But Sam, I mean, of course, Victor Williams is the doghouse now bears his name. But I am going to go first in this doghouse as it is Eagles related, and I'm going to throw the one Jalen Reagor in the doghouse. Pretty
Easy.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Pretty huge bummer. To be honest with you, this whole Jalen Hurts, that second round draft pick was one thing, but that first round draft pick in 2020, that's the Jalen that really rubbed people the wrong way. Even more so than Hurts, and it's clear that ever since Jalen Reagor is just not good at football, and he hopefully this is what sucks about Jalen Reagor. There's just so many reasons I want to put him in the doghouse. Like my mind is racing, but he's so bad at football. Like he literally lost his football games all season.
Yeah.
And last year, too. He lost us football, especially this. I can point to 2 football games that he lost us. One of them was in the playoffs. Granted, we probably would have lost that football game anyway, but it wouldn't have been, or the game against the Bucs probably would have lost. But I would have liked to have it at least be competitive and not have him muff another punt. I mean, he muffed 2 punts in that game. So it's clear that he is a net negative on the field. I mean, you take a look at a guy like Ryan Kerrigan. Ryan Kerrigan was like... He literally ranked last in defensive players in terms of tackles all season long. And he had more of a positive impact on the field than Jalen Reagor, despite the fact that he did nothing at all.
Yeah. Defensive player of the game, Ryan Kerrigan in that game. Honestly.
That's the most ridiculous thing in the world is the fact that it's true. But Jalen Reagor, it's time to go. It is. It's time to go.
Yeah.
People say, he should never play another snap in Midnight Green, but like, how realistic is it that how he actually ends up cutting him? That's
no way. He's got too much pride. I mean, he just wants he's gonna ride this one out as long as he can. I mean, it's like the JJ Arcega-Whiteside thing on steroids. I mean, because he's a first round pick.
Dude, that's the problem. Is like, how long is Reagor even going to be sticking around? Like, it's the fact that there's no end in sight, and he was never ever good. And I will say to Joe, yes, in terms of Fletcher Cox, was very disappointing this year. Was very disappointing last year. He had a couple big tackles, but like was one tackle. Like, what the fuck, right? Yeah. Like, you should tackle more people when you play football usually. But my thing
with Cox was, I said this a couple of episodes ago, but I kind of think he checked out like mid-season, like right when they were 2-5 or something like that, man. Like Zach Ertz had just gotten traded. His boy Carson Wentz was thrown to the wolves, no pun intended, by everybody else, and it was just all of his boys, like from that Super Bowl team, gone. And they're 2-5. He's like, what else do I got to play for? I mean, not the mindset that I want in my defensive captain, obviously, but I kind of get it. I mean, he just lost some steam, and then he like kind of picked it up towards the end there and was like, oh shit, maybe we can make the playoffs, and then it just wasn't enough. So.
That's quite literally exactly what happened, because he did turn it on at the end of the season. I mean, we saw it there, and that's something that we talked about a lot with this team when we went in that 2-5 hole, because we're like, are our vets going to stay focused? And fortunately, Sirianni was able to get most of them to care But at the same, if I'm Fletcher Cox and Jonathan Gannon is the guy telling me to do something, I automatically don't want to do it.
Well, especially when it's like come off the line and cover the screen. I mean,
Yeah,
when has he ever done that ever? Like,
come run coverage as a defensive tackle, like as you
joke.
approach the end of your prime. Like a guy that has just been a beast for the Birds up front. You just want to take him off the line of scrimmage. No wonder we can't get pressure on the quarterback because our defensive attack. Jonathan Gannon is also in the doghouse as well.
Yeah,
because he's so bad at his job.
No, I promise he's good. Please hire him. I promise he's good. He's good. Just hire him.
I did that because it was a joke.
Yeah,
I said that because it was a joke.
Yeah.
Because that's why it was funny because like everyone in Philly loves him so much. That putting him in the doghouse would be universally recognized as a joke. So,
yes,
obviously, Houston Texans, Denver Broncos, please, he's all yours.
Texans, that would be perfect.
Dog.
What the
dog? If he goes to the Texans, what if he goes to the Texans and turns it around?
I you know what? Just tip my cap. Like, you know what? Just you do you. Whatever.
It's like if Andre Drummond hits a 3 over you, you just go, all right.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought I had it. I thought I had you. I thought I knew what you were going to do, but clearly not. Man. But yeah, Jalen Reagor does need to go in the doghouse. He just has butterfingers. He doesn't care. He slacks off on routes. It's clear that the guy just has like, he's just mentally weak, which I understand. I'm a pretty mentally weak guy myself, but I don't make millions of dollars to catch a football. So, I yell on the internet for hours and hours a week. So
yeah,
clearly I'm not the one that's in that position. So Sam, it's going to be my doghouse. Who you got in the doghouse? Brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply.
I have the one and only quarterback for America's team, Dak Prescott.
Bang.
Now, here's the thing. I was Ryan, I don't know how like the amount of joy that was brought to my soul after watching the Eagles lose, watching the Cowboys fumble multiple chances to win that football game in the playoffs and then lose in the first round was perfection. I don't want to say that I relished the Cowboys losing more than I would have liked the Eagles winning. But I'm going to go ahead and say I liked the Cowboys losing more than I would have liked the Eagles to win because just the fact that we both called it and everybody in Philadelphia called it that the Dallas Cowboys were frauds and they were going to lose in the first round. And it was because of this prick, Dak Prescott, was just perfect. Yeah. Was just awesome. I cannot believe, and I guess this is partially on Mike McCarthy too. My dad and I were talking about this. And who calls a quarterback draw with 20 seconds left, let him run up the field and slide and then just let the time run out? They had multiple chances. That first down that San Francisco got, and then they brought it back.
Yeah, dude. They were like
talk about giving Dallas another chance. I mean, they were handed chance after chance after chance. And then Dak has the audacity after losing that football game for his team to go out against the refs in the press conference immediately following. Hello?
Yeah, dude.
You just ran up the middle of the field. At least run up the side. Go out of bounds. I mean, you had the run up the field, slide, and then expect your 300-pound lineman to come up the field 30 yards down the field and get down for a spike. Like, come on. You've been in the league long enough to know that that's not how you do things. I mean, like,
yeah.
And then to blame it on the refs. And
dude, that's the most embarrassing part.
Apologize to everybody today. Like, I don't want to hear from you. Like, I don't care if you're sorry to the ref. Like, nobody gives a shit. Like, get off of social media.
You said what you said already, dude.
Yeah, just you made your bed. Now go lay in it.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you laid down in the middle of the field with 5 seconds left to play. I'll tell you what, Sam. That play there by the Cowboys, or really that entire game, it looked more like a college football game. It looked like I was watching Pac-12 football. Like, it looked like I was watching Washington State versus Oregon State. Like, it just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Just play after play after play. And it ended in the most beautiful way possible with that slide in the middle of the field. I let out an evil villain laugh It was
Ugh.
way too. It was so from like it was like it
My
was
dad
like
and I were
real.
cackling.
It was the funniest thing. Like my dad didn't even like laugh. He was just sitting there, just like pleased. He was just very content with the situation. But yeah, dude, Dak Prescott, he's a fucking asshole for that. I mean, here's the thing. I didn't even think Dak Prescott was a bad guy, but like clearly he's just like what the fuck was that? Like such an uncalled for comment. Like call out the refs when they suck, not when you suck so hard that you can't even call a football game right. They looked unprepared, the whole Cowboys team. And the fact that he tried to take it out on the officials and say that it was a good thing that his own fans were doing that is ridiculous. And the fact that nobody in the national media freaking talked about it is absurd.
No.
That is national media in the doghouse.
Oh,
we got
man.
a lot of people in the doghouse tonight. This is a big, it's getting bigger. Wider planks for the doghouse.
The fact, like, if an Eagles fan had done, it would have been talked about for years.
Dude, it'd be brought up 50 years from now.
It'd be right alongside. Oh my God, they threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
53 years ago. My dad was 3 years old.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How do people even still care about that?
You mean they?
And people bring it up like it happened recently. People bring it up like it happened. They're like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Why don't you guys go boo Santa?" Shut the fuck up. Shut up, you loser. Get a life. Doghouse, brought to you by Wide Plank Floor Supply. Visit their website at www.wideplank.floorsupply.com. Get a recommendation for a contractor. Get a quote. Wide Plank Floor Supply. If it's wide, they've got it. Sam, I do want to talk to you about the Sixers just a little bit, but first, we do have another question in the chat about Jonathan Gannon now that the Houston Texans have left the stream. Is Gannon bad from lack of talent on the field or his overall scheme? Inquiring minds want to know. And
the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. He said that he was going to show Tom Brady something he's never seen before, and then just threw out the softest defense imaginable. It's like it's clearly something Tom Brady has seen millions of times. You just threw out like a basic defense. So it is part of this overall scheme, but also definitely our lack of good linebackers hurt this team in terms of stopping the run and in terms of coverage and short yardage and medium yardage situations. But a lot of that does also come down just to the scheme of us playing 8 yards off guys when they need to get 5.
I just can't believe that was still like a defensive game plan going into the playoffs. I mean, I get that Nick Sirianni was like, hey, we don't want to change anything. Like, this is like what got us here. Like, we turned it around. It's all good. I get that coming from a coach, but hey, like if you're Jonathan Gannon, like you got to be thinking to yourself, if you're Jonathan Gannon, right? If I'm the defensive coordinator for the Eagles and the team is worse because of my defensive skills right now going into the playoffs, I'm shitting myself and being like, oh my God, I have to make sure we don't lose this playoff game because the offense has been firing on all cylinders for the whole second half of the season. And the defense has kind of just been the same. So I got to come up with something else, and especially against Tom Brady. And it just was the same old bullshit that we saw. I mean, it was just.
And I'll tell you why 3 to 4 NFL teams probably want to interview him. I mean, look at the teams. Take a look at the Houston Texans. Take a look at the Denver Broncos. Have they had a good head coach in the last 10 years or so? They're definitely desperate. But also in terms of Jonathan Gannon, there are a lot of positives to having him as a coach. But at the same time, you kind of have to look at the difference between the role of a head coach and the role of a coordinator because his scheme is really important. But a lot of people are happy with him in terms of how he runs his meetings, how he runs the defense in terms of like, you know, off the field, in practice, preparation, and teaching them the scheme. Those are the things that people seem to really like about Jonathan Gannon. The fact that one thing I saw is that he always explains the why to his players, which I understand. I understand why you might want that out of somebody as a head coach. But, I mean, take a look at Doug Peterson. Super cool guy. Not exactly a genius offensive mind by any means, right?
Sure, yeah.
If you take a look after Frank Reich left, I mean, I'm not saying that he was the sole, you know, guy that won us that Super Bowl, Frank Reich, but he definitely helped us in terms of creative play calling and drawing up new play designs and things like that. Meanwhile, after he leaves, Doug Peterson's scheme gets a lot more vanilla with guys that aren't exactly quality coordinators. So you take a look at Gannon, he goes ahead and he becomes the head coach and he's more running the football team. Those are kind of the traits that you would look for in a good head coach, especially in a place like Houston where things are just kind of crazy right now, a lot of organizational instability. So having a guy that can relate to people is huge. And also same thing with the Broncos. They just went from Vic Fangio, a guy who's basically like a fart in a paper bag from 1950. And that's like his entire personality. So getting a younger guy in there to work with his defense to do that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I have no problem. Here's like, I'm sure if you put an offensive coordinator genius and a defensive coordinator genius and then Jonathan Gannon at the head coaching helm, I feel like that'd be pretty good. You know, like you said, he's got the
I think that would be fucking great.
Yeah, like that's fine. I mean, and that's not on us. Like, I mean, he's already our defensive coordinator and stuff. So like, if another coach wants him as a head coach, that's what you got to do. I mean, you have to have like an offensive genius and a defensive genius, and then you got Jonathan Gannon at the top of the ship. I mean, not our problem, but I feel like that would be okay. I mean, I'm trying to will this into existence, but you know, and I agree here. I mean, I think you need to give the D coordinator and the head coach at least 2 years.
Don't fire him.
No, yeah. Like I said, like this is a part of the whole thing that I said earlier. It's like a microwave society. I mean, we're gonna ready to fire the guy after 1 year. Like, come on. I mean,
if he wants to leave on his own, that's
fine.
If
he wants to leave on his own, like sure, but
I'll drive him to the airport. But but I'm not just gonna sit here and call for the man's job. I mean, he did have some quality. He did have the defense play some quality defensive games. But our biggest issue was getting down early, especially against good teams. We got down early way too quickly. I mean, you take a look at that game against Brady. First 3 drives, they scored, and I just slowly slouched. Like it was just, it was tough to watch at times. So I do think that if we draft really quality defensive personnel, we're going to be able to get a better look at Gannon next year as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do we have a better coaching staff than Dallas? Yeah. Dallas 100% is like, I don't know where they found these guys. Like
Mike McCarthy. I mean, he's really shown his true colors in his time with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the only reason he won his Super Bowl is because he had Aaron Rodgers calling the shots. I mean,
dude, yeah. I mean, just take a look at it. Mike McCarthy is like the Doc Rivers of the NFL.
Oh, that's perfect. That is good.
Won that one chip because he had an absolutely incredible football team, and then keeps getting opportunities. Goes to a storied franchise, the Dallas Cowboys. 76ers sucks.
Yeah,
can't win in the playoffs. So yeah, Mike McCarthy is a dunce. Kellen Moore looks inbred. And I don't even know he does look a little lost out there. He's just kind of like the way that his resting face is just one of immense confusion, which it
kind of reminds me of Eli Manning, if I'm being honest. Like if we look at Kellen Moore and like Eli Manning always he just looked like such a puss on the football field at all times. Like, what? Like, why?
Exactly what it looks like. Dude, that's bad. But yeah, man. Dallas out of the playoffs. Hilarious. So I hope they keep that coaching staff as long as possible, because as soon as they get a competent staff in the building in Dallas, they're going to be trouble. Yeah, that's a really good football team. There's a lot of good players on that team.
Yeah. I just can't believe. I mean, if we're being honest, this was supposed to be I know Cowboys fans say this all the time. This was supposed to be their year.
Dude.
Like, they had a sick defense. They had an offense that was firing on all cylinders, a good offensive line. Dak Prescott's a game manager, but you can win a Super Bowl with a game manager. That guy, Tony Pollard, had a great year. Ezekiel Elliott did not have a good year, but you had Pollard. And then, Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons on defense. I mean, they had a sick roster on paper.
Dude, stupid.
It was just so funny that they just shit the bed.
Yeah,
it's just
and their whole team is based. It's like you take a look at Trevon Diggs, led the league in interceptions, but also led the league in yards allowed. That was the Dallas Cowboys this year.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, look at this over here, and then pop, and then look at this. It's like, here's a little distraction, and then pow, we suck. And it's just over and over again. But yeah, I definitely will agree with you as well that I do prefer just the Cowboys losing, because here's the thing: what, the Eagles win and then we go get smacked at Lambeau? Like, fuck that. Like, you might as well leave Tampa with some fucking dignity.
Yeah,
and just shut it down. But Sam, I do want to ask you to give this Eagles season a grade. Can you grade this whole season?
I'll give it a B plus.
I'll give it a B.
Yeah,
I was gonna B/B plus.
Yeah, that's fine. That I'm okay with yours. I mean, B plus for me. The plus for me is like, if I were to be completely out kind of on Jalen Hurts, then I would give it a B. But I have lots of faith in Jalen Hurts and like the stuff that he's shown me this year, and then translating into next year. I feel like he gave it that plus. You know, I thought he had a good year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And also, I mean, we made the playoffs. So
yeah, that's another.
Yeah. So I would give it a B, but the plus is making the playoffs. So there we are. There we are. Perfect. Yeah, B plus season for the Birds. I give us an A. I give us an A. We knew how this was all going to shake out. We called it. I mean, 10-7, 11-6, not 9-8, but better than 3-14 for sure.
Yeah, which is what everybody in the national media had us at, which is completely bonkers. I mean, I cannot believe that you looked at that roster and said, yeah, these guys are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Dude, our line was 6.5 for total wins this year.
Unbelievable. That's free money. Free money on the Parks Casino Sportsbook. Use code WOLF69 for a risk-free bet of up to $500.
Let them know, Sam.
It's basically free money.
What a fucking ad read out of you there. That got
Thank you.
I got my blood pumping a little bit. I'm juiced, baby. Let's go. But Sam, I will say this is probably going to bring our Eagles talk. Oh,
yeah.
Here we go. Before we wrap up the Eagles here, got a little John here from Seamus G. Just a clip from the press conference today.
As far as the first part, Jalen knows where he stands with us. He knows he's our quarterback. That's how do you know where you stand with a coaching staff? Because you communicate and you talk over and over and over and over again. And so Jalen knows where he stands with us. I thought he did a great job of getting better throughout the year, as we've talked about. And so, yeah, there's no secrets there. He knows he's our guy.
There it is.
Everybody needs to shut up and accept it.
Yeah.
Everybody shut up and accept it.
I love it. I'm all in on Jalen Hurts, man. I'm in.
Yeah, man. It's officially 2022.
It's just so easy to say, fuck that guy. Like, let's go get it. Let's go get Aaron Rodgers. It's just so easy to say, like, come on, just be a fan. Go all in. Like,
dude,
let's go.
People are weenies, bro.
Yeah.
People are weenies. I just don't understand it.
Kyle said it best when we were talking about our record. When we were like, oh man, are we really going in like on another 10-7, 11-6 record? And he was like, no, I commend you guys. Like, it's much harder to be positive about this team than it is to be negative, you know? And I'm trying to be positive about Jalen Hurts.
Dude, there's so much to be positive about. And I think we laid it out just real quick before we talk Sixers. Just lay it out. 3 first-round picks.
Yep.
1 more year of development for Jalen Hurts. Another year with the coaching staff. Another year of development for this entire football team. A young receiving core. Like, we have, a shitload of cap space. Everything is lining up beautifully. Dude, this is it. All right? How this next season or the next 2 years shapes up, Howie Roseman's job is on the line. Jalen Hurts' job is on the line. Nick Sirianni, job maybe on the line. Probably not till like a third year, probably. But, that would require some regression in year 2, which I don't foresee. So this is going to be a big, big upcoming year in 2022 for the future of this Eagles team, because we laid the groundwork, we laid the foundation, and it's very nice. I don't see any cracks in that foundation, at least not yet. So we'll see what happens there, Sam. We'll see what happens. Absolutely. And with that, Sam, we're going to move right into the Philadelphia 76ers. Bing, bang, bong. I got to tell you, man, Sixers tonight played the Magic. Holy crap. And they covered. They beat them 123-110. I was literally like, it's going to be right up against that. Dude, literally the line was like minus 11.5 or minus 12. So they really just barely covered that. So beautiful. So go Sixers. Love a big win. And it's just kind of it's kind of exemplary of what they've been doing to teams recently. Just kind of running through. Granted, we've had a pretty easy schedule, but with Joel Embiid back, with him healthy, we're unstoppable. We beat the Celtics by a bunch. We beat the Heat, lost to the Wizards, which was a little weird, but now we're back on track. And then everything is kind of looking up for the Sixers as well, especially as we get close to the trade deadline, because Sam, I want to get your thoughts on these trade rumors. Rumors about Ben Simmons. There are 2 separate deals on the table right now, neither of which I'm really thrilled with, but I want to get your thoughts. So first is the Kings, Sam.
Okay.
The Kings want to send us Tyrese Halliburton. They want to send us Harrison Barnes, and they want to send us Buddy Hield, the sweet shooting guy out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Big Buddy Hield guy.
Love that.
Yeah, big Buddy Hield guy. Absolutely.
Me
Plus
too.
2 first-round picks for Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Matisse Thybulle.
Where do I sign? I mean, I like that.
Hey, man, I can't
like
blame
that
you.
a
You get
lot.
a dynamic young guard, 21-year-old Tyrese Halliburton. You get Harrison Barnes, who is basically what Tobias is now, on $10 million less and in a much smaller role. And then you get Buddy Hield, who could just shoot the lights out any given evening. So
very
not a
very
bad
okay with
trade.
that. Just get it done. Let's start a new chapter of Sixers basketball, and let's. Are there any other ones there? Because I'm all in on that one.
That's it. You're good with that one. All right, there is another one with the Pistons as well, where trading just Ben Simmons, we give them Ben Simmons, and in return we receive Jeremy Grant, former Sixer, casualty of the process.
Yeah. And
Sadiq Bey, Villanova kid.
Villanova, yeah.
Kelly Olynyk, the Great White Hope. And then I want to say there's some pick compensation involved, maybe a pick or 2 in there. But
I
don't like that deal at all.
I don't really I like the first one better.
I do too. Because
like
we
the
moved
first
to
one
bias
better.
in that as well.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's tough out there in Sacramento because that team is so bad. That team is so bad, and they've released that they want to build around Fox, of course, Kentucky product, De'Aaron Fox, and Tyrese Halliburton. But at the same time, we're hearing these rumors that they want to trade one of the guys. So we're hearing a lot of conflicting shit, and I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I don't really know either. As this team really does just need a change in pace, man. It just needs to turn over a new leaf and try, even if it means that like they take the rest of the season, try and get that chemistry going, and they make the playoffs as like a 6 seed or whatever they are ranked right now, and just do their best, and then go into the off season, put some work in all together, maybe get another piece or 2 in free agency, and see where it goes from there. I just think we have to act now if we want to get a championship with Joel Embiid. I mean, we look at the stat line tonight. He had 50 points and 12 rebounds. I mean, like, it's just it's so sickening that we're wasting this guy right now in his utter prime. And it's just it almost feels worse to me than Allen Iverson because I'm living it now. I was too young to understand the Allen Iverson thing, but this feels worse. I don't know. Like we haven't seen a center do this ever.
Mm-hmm. It's difficult to stomach sometimes because tonight Joel Embiid had 20 points in the first quarter. Guess how many total points the team scored in the first quarter?
Like 18.
Not numbers guys here at the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. But actually the difference is still the same. 2 points.
2. Okay.
2.
Got
2
it.
points. Wow. The absolute value of the difference between 2 of those is the same. So
Perfect.
That's beautiful stuff right there. But I mean, that alone just shows that we need Joel to get some help, dude. It's really brutal because look, 50 bomb. I'm a little upset that I missed the end of the 50 bomb, but I'll get over it. I'll watch the highlights. But we got to go ahead and at least find a way to move on from Ben Simmons before this season ends. It is a lot like a Bryce Harper level of waste.
It really is.
It's right up there. And Bryce Harper actually won MVP too. That's what kind of makes it a little worse for the Phillies because Bryce Harper, but also at the same time, fewer moves need to get done in the NBA to build a championship contender.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of other
a lot of
positions to fill in
moving
baseball.
parts with the MLB. Yeah.
NBA, it's like, all right, give me 3 All-Stars and I'll go win.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
if we could just get Joel Embiid an All-Star, like we can figure the rest out. But like we can't be having fucking Ben Simmons on the sideline and Tobias Harris. Like I wish he was. I wish the roles were reversed. I wish Tobias Harris was holding out. Then we'd probably be the number 1 seed. But and it's funny because some people are like, is Tobias Harris really that bad? I'm like, literally, yes. Like
he's bad.
He is
he's
as bad
for the money that we're paying him. He's horrendous. If we weren't paying him all that money, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But we are paying it. What is he? He's on a max deal or a super max deal? Like it's crazy.
He's on like the max. I believe it's a super max.
Yeah, so he's on a super max deal, and he's like shooting 20% from the field every night. Like that's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it in the slightest. So
it simply will not work out, dude. He's averaging. Let's see, what's this? He's shooting the ball 15 times a game and making 6.9 of them. It's not good.
No, it's not. It's not good at all. I don't I read that deal back to me one more time with the Kings. I just want to
So we give them Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Tobias Harris. And we receive Tyrese Halliburton, who I love.
Yeah,
Buddy Hield, who I love, and Harrison Barnes, who I absolutely loathe and don't like, but is fine, I guess, because we need him to make the salary work is the problem. So
yeah, it's fine.
He's honestly a solid depth rotational piece. Like he's a perfect guy.
Totally fine. Yeah.
If he's a guy that you want to have on a title team is like your 7th or 8th guy in the rotation, ideal.
Whatever.
Right.
As long as it's not another Al Horford situation, I'm cool with it. Like,
dude, you see they're looking to move him. Did you see that?
Are you serious?
They're looking to trade Al Horford and Josh Richardson, and I'm like, no shit. Like I could afford do that. Like, my God. And like, who do you expect to get? I know they're looking to move on because they just traded for Bull. You know, but are you familiar with Bull, Sam?
Yeah, I am.
He's fucking. I want him in Philly, bro.
Wasn't his dad on the Sixers?
Yeah, dude. His dad hit 7 threes in one game.
So great.
As a 7-7 basketball player in the 1990s or whatever.
So funny that his name is Manute Bol.
Manute Bol, and then his son Bol.
So obviously the opposite of minute. Like it's just right there. I mean, it's just
I hate you. But so you like this deal? You like this deal?
I do. I really do. I pull that trigger in a heartbeat.
Apparently, the Sixers aren't interested.
Why?
Dude, right?
Like, what could possibly be bad about that deal other than gaining Harrison Barnes and maybe losing Matisse Thybulle? Like
that, like, dude, that sucks to me. Like,
it
I really
sucks a little.
Matisse Thybulle, but
yeah,
dude, we just need better. Like, I'm so happy that we drafted Matisse and we've had Ben and we've had a lockdown perimeter defending. I just can't go back. I can't go back to life where a guy like TJ Warren is going to cook us for 50 or a guy like Terry Rozier is going to drop 57.
I will never forget that game, the TJ Warren game.
That's how I knew the bubble was chalked. That's when I knew we just had to just go home and just shut it down. I was like, why are we even playing?
TJ Warren.
He hasn't done shit since then either. It's amazing.
Why would he? I mean, the blight of the Philadelphia fan is the average player.
Yeah,
we say it all the time.
The average player, the random player.
Yeah.
The average random player. So many different ways that they can hurt us. It really is rough. But Sam, thank you for, doing the pod with me during this Eagles season. We had a blast.
It was so fun.
It's over. I mean, it's over now, but fuck them, right?
Yeah, whatever. Draft season, baby, as Victor would say.
Oh, I hate the draft, but
I know you do. I know.
I hate the draft. I hate the draft. Dude, Brace was talking to me today. He was like, you know what season it is? I was like, basketball season? He was like, well, yes, but
Shit.
it's mock. Yes, but it's also mock draft season. And I was like, oh, great. So amazing. I mean, can't wait to see mock draft 13.0 next week. It's gonna be amazing. But
Yeah. Oh,
Sam?
wait, before we end it off, it's time for Seamus Says.
Yes, sir.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Good.
Fooling.
So we're going to do a little short Flyers segment. Last
Sure.
night we went into overtime, went into a shootout, and as we all expected, the Flyers lost in the shootout. But what was really the dagger of this was the fact that we had 9 guys shoot, and none of them scored. It went
Awesome.
9 rounds.
Just the most Flyers thing I've ever heard in my entire life, to be honest with you.
Unbelievable, dude. All time in shootouts were at like 390 or whatever, like 39%. And
Damn.
the next closest team is like 41%.
Dude, we got to burn the franchise.
Dude, it's brutal. And Dave Scott was just like giving away some Steins yesterday.
Dude, I can't believe nobody died.
Dude, right? If they
They
were
had to be
ceramic,
plastic.
they
Yeah.
had to be, right?
They
If
had
they were
to be,
ceramic,
right?
They
They
would
give
have
a-
to.
no way
would
they
have to
give away-
cancel the game. They would.
They
have
can't
to
give away
cancel the
10.
game.
They said first 10,000 fans get a Flyers beer stein. And I'm like,
9,000 of them are
10,000?
throwing those. That's 9,000 glasses thrown onto the ice right there.
I saw that. I tweeted it immediately. I was like, this is a fucking hazard. I was like, I was
Yeah.
sitting there like,
is
that
psycho.
shows how out of touch the organization is with the city. They
Yeah.
don't even know that that's a risk. They have no idea what's going on. They don't even know.
There's
I
a
don't even think they know that we're
reason
upset.
There's
Yeah.
a reason that they stopped selling alcohol in like the 6th inning at the Phillies.
Yeah.
Games. Like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
a reason.
They don't sell it in a massive, very throwable ceramic mug.
Yeah, and it was a brutal night. Sorokin, Varlamov. Sorry, Sorokin is their other goalie. Their
Why do
backup
they have
goalie.
two dirty goalies?
They have 2 dirty goalies. So Sorokin is top 5 in save percentage, and Varlamov was lights out last night. I mean, he saved 9 penalty shots, which is honestly hard to do statistically. Like, if you just shoot the puck 10 times, you would assume that one would go in, especially with an NHL caliber player. But regardless, I have a poem for
Perfect.
the Seamus Says segment.
Mhm.
It's called Winless for Right. We need a game changer for the Flyers. Trim the fat, sell some lads. We aren't buyers. As of now, the future isn't bright. Hockey fans won't like it, but a tank is right. And we need someone to right the ship. An X factor with some bounce and a great shot. Here's an idea. How about Shane Wright? He's the #1 prospect for the next draft. I'm saying we're tanking. Winless for Wright. All I'm saying.
Let's
I know
go.
there's a whole winless for Wiggins thing that didn't super work out, but winless for Wright is the right move.
Yeah.
So
That almost turned me to stone.
Yeah, right.
This for Wiggins.
yeah, remember that during the process?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Was that
literally raking my
pre-process or was that
no,
like
that was
that
deep
was-
in the process.
Sack deep in the process.
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
Dude, gotcha.
Stones deep in the process.
Did not work. Did not
But
work.
Yeah, how'd that
yeah,
work
so
for the
it's
Sixers?
not the Phillies. The Flyers are not doing well. It's not honestly not a fun product to watch. Like
No.
saw a ton of photos of a lot of empty seats. Like the franchise is going to have to make moves because the organization doesn't want to lose money. It's Comcast owns the Flyers now, and Comcast is a business. So Comcast doesn't want to lose money on not having asses in seats. So they're going to make some changes. It's just like, I guess they're just chalking this year up to a lost season, which stinks, especially because, Claude Giroux is not getting any younger. He's probably going to ask for a trade. I mean, I can't blame him if he asks for a trade.
No, get the fuck out of here, dude. You don't need to be here.
He doesn't need to be here. Get that man a cup. Like, he deserves it.
I was gonna
He's
say,
been-
yeah, he doesn't even have a cup.
Get him out of here, bro.
Dude,
for
the
his own
closest
good.
he came was against the Blackhawks, and that,
Dude,
That was a while ago. Holy
a long
shit.
time ago.
2008, 2009 season. Is that what that was?
Mhm.
Holy shnikes, dude.
It was like,
Oh my
It was
Dude,
it was a
I remember
minute ago.
that Chris Pronger.
Oh yeah,
He was like screening the goalie, and they
Yeah.
called him for it, even though he scored and he wasn't.
yeah.
But he was. But he wasn't.
Yeah,
he
Come
was,
on,
he
right?
We're a Philly apologist here. He wasn't.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
what am I
but-
supposed to do, right? Like,
we need, like, all right, a very common phrase with hockey fans is generational talent. Sometimes you hear it with, basketball fans and stuff, but like with hockey, it's like you need a generational talent. You need a Connor McDavid. You need a Leon Draisaitl. You need a Nathan McKinnon. Like, all of these like big names, we don't have any of them. Last night on the ice was Matt Barzal. They couldn't stop talking about him on the broadcast. Every time his skates touched the ice, they were, even when he wasn't on the ice, they were like, "Hey man, this is one of those shifts where you can feel Matt Barzal is in it." Like, dude, you're 100 yards away. How do you know this? Like, how can you feel what he's feeling on the bench? Whatever.
whatever.
We're not talking about the broadcasters right now. That's a whole different issue. ESPN has fumbled a little bit this year, but I'm glad that it's more accessible, partly because they're making it ESPN Plus. Anyways, that's the Flyers. Until next week.
Yeah.
Thank you, Seamus.
Thank you, Seamus G. Yeah, dude. The Flyers really suck, Sam.
Yeah, they do.
It's trying times for Flyers fans all over the world. And if you want to listen to more Flyers talk, more structured hour-long content, go ahead, tune into the Liberty Yell here on the Liberty Line Podcast Network, hosted by Chris Stumpo and Danny Deemer. Good guys, Delco dogs through and through. And Sam, go ahead, give us the sign-off, brother.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Wolves of Broad Street podcast. I'm going to get this one out of the way real quick. The new intro video, so cool.
So
shout out to Seamus G for putting it together, and shout out to Eamon for getting us those clips, filming that up for us. Go follow us at Wolves Abroad ST on all the social medias. Follow me at Sam Glavin06 on all the social medias. And, of course, at Ryan Conway76 and at Shamelessly SG on all the social medias. Check out the libertyline.com and at libertylinephl. Big shout out to Drew and Vic for letting us scream and yell about everything Philly sports on their platform. And buy a shirt. Check out the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. Use code WOLF69 for a risk-free bet of up to $500. Basically free money. Seamus G.